right, there we go. Hey everyone, Richard Carlton here. Welcome to another great day of FileMaker training at fmtraining.tv. I'm the creator of fmtraining.tv, where you can learn all about the FileMaker platform and learn how to build better FileMaker applications for you, your customers, your organization. This broadcast is completely free to everyone and is being broadcast in high definition to Discord, YouTube, and to Twitch. This broadcast is being recorded, which is really great. Of course, we might clean up the recording a little bit, so if we make a malfunction during the live stream, then of course we reserve the right to clean that up on the recording later on. However, because it's a live broadcast, we encourage you to ask questions. In fact, some people get aggravated when there's this dialogue with you and we ask questions. We want questions. If you have a question, odds are other people have the question too. And so I want to thank everyone for logging in. Ken and TK and Dave One, Dave Learning, Ed, Elzo, Carol, Jake, Mike, all of you, welcome once again to another great broadcast. Now, as a reminder, if you want to check out the upcoming broadcast, go to fmtraining.tv, press the left tab for the live button. You can see the upcoming broadcast schedule. That's pretty awesome. Additionally, if you want to help support this channel, right? We always say this, this broadcast is brought to you by fmtraining.tv, bringing you the greatest and the most entertaining FileMaker training videos available. So the idea is that if you want to help support the channel, make sure you check out our on-demand video bundles. We have videos that cover the latest version of FileMaker. We have videos that cover the deploy course. In fact, we used to sell the courses individually. Anymore, it's just much simpler to sell a complete bundle for a low price. We do this on an annual basis. So if you buy one of the bundles, that really helps support the channel. It ensures that we can keep coming back every day, because this broadcast actually takes a lot of money to run. The people here don't work for free. Well, Nick, you want to tell us, if there's no sirens, what are we doing today?
Okay, so today we go doing the last of the 3 days in the list of values and why all of this. So I'm going to explain another time why all of this, right? So the goal is to understand how FileMaker works. Okay. So since the beginning, I'm saying the same thing, but you know, for the people jumping in today or the people in the future watching the video, I want them to know what we talk about, even though they didn't watch the two other videos. It's that FileMaker is built in a way that you have it's a universe, right? So so you have the file, right? And then within the file, you have tables. Within the table, you have fields and supporting, and the fields are supporting records. In the records, you put value in fields, right? So that's what you have. So the field, the field, the record, and the value, right? It's like the egg or the chicken, right? The field, record, fields, you know, whatever you want to take it. But the value you put inside the field is the last of, you know, in the food chain, right? Is the last. Okay. In the food chain, the value is like the crickets, right? So it's the last on the food chain. So you need to, when you understand this, you understand that sometime, and most of the time, and many times, okay, you need to go down to the last level in order to juggle, you know, with data in a much more simple way. It's difficult to do that with files. It's difficult to do that with records. A record is heavy. A record, you need to open it, read it, put it in memory, and then commit it, close it, save it, you know, validate, you know. So you have a lot of things going on when you open a record and when you close a record, right? Or when you create a record, or when you delete a record. That's why, you know, people tell me, oh, deleting a record is so difficult. Yeah, okay. If you delete records within a table where you have 7 million records and you have every single of your 500 fields with index, right? it's deleting one record in that table is a huge process that you can't even imagine. Okay, that's why we have the values. Okay, and I got a little text here, and I'm going to share my screen right quick here now. So we have here a list of all the function, okay, that we have in order to deal with values. Okay, so we have the left, middle, right values, the value count, the get value, the filter value, the unique values, the sort values, the while, the count, the substitute, and the list. So all of those are pretty much deal with values. Okay. Today we are going to play with pretty much all of them. Okay, and so that's why I wanted to make sure that people understand why we use values. And I came with some example to make sure that you can understand, but it's difficult to say to tell you how and when to use values and deal with values instead of dealing with fields with records. But I'm going to explain that today. So let's continue. So today I want to do something cool. I want to do something that most of you guys tried or are doing. I want to create a bullet point system, right? I want to create a bullet point system, but bullet point in FileMaker doesn't exist.
Oh, so you said bullet point system,
bullet point.
Bullet point. Okay, got it.
Bullets points.
Bullets.
Bullet point.
Okay.
This doesn't exist in FileMaker. Okay. This concept doesn't exist, but it's not because it doesn't exist that we cannot have it. So this here we have a text, okay, delimited by the carriage return. So I have a carriage return, okay, between a block of text, right? And I want a system where I'm going to get each of those. I want that to be a bullet point, okay? Not this one, but each of those I want that to be a bullet point. So how you do that? How you do that? You can come with a crazy script that says, look for carriage return and select the text between the first carriage return, and then select the second carriage return, select the text between the first and the second. You can do that if you want. You can do something like this. And Rick, I know you saw something like this. You know that, people say, doing kind of a thing like this and using, selection, set selection. See?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So I know that when you are not familiar with our webinar, is where you want to go. You want to go select, right? And sometime I saw people doing copy and go to another, say go to layout, new record, and paste.
Yeah, I still do that. Yeah. So
okay. So I'm not going to be harsh with you. Okay, so I'm going to show you when and how to do that, to do something like this, PIM. Or to do something like this, that we have much more and PIM. And to do something like this, and we have much more and PIM. Okay? That's what we want. Not only I get the bullet point, but I get the number and get everything super clean. Okay. So how to do, and I want to be able to do this, clear perm, and I want to do this clear perm, and I want to do this clear perm. Okay. So we want the perm stuff. We don't want the and okay. We want the perm. Okay. So how to do this? Here where values is going to help you, because we have all the arsenal we need here, right? So, and I want to do something smart here. I don't just want to do a carriage return and then make a value out of the carriage. No, I just want this. I don't want just this. I want to be able to do this, to say this carriage return, this carriage return, this is one value, right? but this is a carriage return. So how I will do this, how this works, how this could be included in one value when I have another carriage return here. Haha. And this is where we are going to explore, right?
All right. I like this. I like it. I'm excited.
Yeah,
I
because
like
it's
this.
something.
What is the title of this session again? What are we calling this session, Margaret? What's the session called?
What is a value?
What is okay? All right. We might have to create a slightly better topic name for the session because we're doing bullets right now. That's pretty cool. That's look.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Okay. So how to do this? So first of all, because I'm using pretty much everything that I'm talking the last 3 days. Okay. The last 2 days. So what I want to do first, I want to check this script here. So what I'm doing here, this is a script. So first I'm committing to make sure that everything's there, okay, so we know that. And then here is where we have the magic coming on. Because two things must happen here. First of all, those are related records. I have two tables. I have the values and the records, okay? This is where I have the values, and this is where I put the record. So I have two tables with one relationship, really simple. The ID to the foreign ID, parent ID, foreign ID. So far, so good. But what I want to do, I want to make sure that everything, I want all those records here to be linked to that unique record that I have here. So two things happen. That's why I need the current ID of the parent ID and the text itself, the values. I need that too. But this is unpredictable. This is unpredictable. Why? Because I can have, here I have four blocks, but here I have 10, here I have 100, here I have 100, and here I have 300. So how I can, I have no prediction. The only one where I have a prediction, I'm sure of it, is the first one, is the ID of that guy, is the ID, the ID of this guy, this field. I'm sure I have only one value. I'm sure on this. This is impossible to have two values. Okay, so I have only one value. So what I'm doing here, I say, okay, I have a script parameter here, and I'm using list to make sure that I have all the values. You remember yesterday I showed you how list is working. I explained to you how list is working. I'm calling two fields. One is local, right? There are two locals. Okay? So I'm calling two fields, and I want them to stack them in a list of values. So what this will return? This. So I have this is my ID, the first value. See, if I said get value of this one, you get this, right? The first value. So if I say left value, I say less value of my list one, it returns this. Okay. Yesterday we learned about the left value, the middle value. So the left value, I get this. So I'm sure that this will always return the first value, meaning the ID. So in my script here, this will always return the first value, right? The ID. Then I have another variable here where I'm using middle value. Why? Look, because of this. Not three, no. Sure. Because I have this list here, but I want to say middle value, right, of my list, starting to the value number 2, and I want is unpredictable. So 999999999. Okay. That means anything after that, I want all. Whatever, I can have a 9 billion, it's okay. So you see here, it's taking everything after, right? After the value number 2. Starting with the value number 2, because this is including it. This includes, Okay, so starting to the value number 2 included, okay, I want whatever after that, right? So that's why if I say 1, I have this one. If I say 2, I have this one, right? But I'm ignoring the first. So that's why we have those two. That's why we have the left value on this one. And I want the middle value on this one because I'm starting from the second one. So the middle. So when I have those two values, when I extracted this out of the record, now it's in the memory. Now this, so if I debug, right? This is inside a record. So it's heavy. It's heavy, it's hard to manipulate. We don't want to manipulate records. We want to manipulate values. So I commit, make sure that everything there. I set my 2 and down. I'm done. Now I can do whatever I want with this, right? It's in my memory. I have it. The current ID and the current text. Now that I have this at my disposal, I can do whatever I want using all my arsenal that I have here. All those. I can use all of those to play with it. I can play, I can do whatever I want with this. And whatever, you can count, you can, for example, you can, get value of the current text. I want the value number 1 set, or number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. Okay, so number 1, and so now I can do whatever I want with my stuff because I have everything out of the record, is out, extracted from the record. That means, and prove it, I'm committing. It's committed. That means the record is free for somebody else. I'm not getting my record open, and if somebody else wants to do this, Nick Hunter is modifying this record, go away, right? No, I'm out. I'm done. It's over. It's bye-bye, sayonara. Nothing to see here. Go along. So now I can do whatever I want. Okay. The first thing I want to do here, I want to go there, right? And but here I think I have a bug here. Let me show. Yeah, I have a bug here. Sorry for that. So Marge, I'm going to send you a new file because this one is buggy.
No problem.
Okay, yeah. Okay. So let's do it again. Because we are eating our dog food here, our own dog food. So no, it's true.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, okay, for all of you guys that will follow me each time, every day. Remember I told you to use Carl style window instead of trying to hide a window that you're not going to hide anyway, because you're going to have a flickering effect. So here I'm using, you see, when you do this, when you create something like this, let's clear this. When I create, you don't see anything. You don't see anything, right? Create, you don't see anything. But in fact, something happening. So let me show you. So you do this. I'm going to the, okay, go, let me do it once. Okay, now that, look what happened. I'm creating my variable and I'm going to the relate record because I want to destroy everything. If there's something on my bullets, right? I want to destroy anything and everything and build new ones. Okay? Don't even try to update. Okay, I'm going to come back later at this, but I want to open this, delete all the record, and then continue my stuff. So you see something is happening. I have the window, I have the caster window, but when it's so fast, FileMaker won't even try to display it when it's so fast. Okay, remember I told you that. So sometimes it's cool to use that technique. Instead of hiding it, make it, show it. Because in the caster window, if it's so if it's a window like I did here that shows nothing, just it's an empty layout with just related to the table where you need to go. It's not going to show it. So now that I have my text in memory, okay, remember I have all those texts in memory here, right? What I'm going to do here, first of all, I'm going to take care of this condition, double carriage return, because I have two carriage returns here. Remember, I have one here, and I have one here that goes to the next. So I have here, I have two carriage return too, 1 and 2, right? So first, I'm taking care of those double, and I'm changing them into something that never exists in the text. Like I'm using the paragraph. This is a paragraph. It's the paragraph symbol. Okay, this. So I'm using that symbol with 1. So now I have a new variable like this. Each time that I have 2 carriage return, I have this now. I have this here. I have this here, right? So I have 3. Now, I'm going to take care of the single carriage return, but I don't have any in my example, so let's do it again. Let's say I have a carriage return here, and I have a carriage return here. Okay? And then I have a 2 carriage return here, and I have a 1 here, and I have 1 here, let's say, and I have 1 here, and I have 1 here. For example, okay, it's just an example. So now I have this, so let's debug again. So I'm doing this, ding, 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 ding. So I'm taking care of the first carriage return. We're using, so see, so I have that was the double carriage return, okay? Double. But you can see I still have the single one, right? And for that, I'm using the substitute, right? So substitute, you remember with the substitute is very clever with values, because you can do whatever you want. You can play with this. If you are not in the variable, if you are not in the value at the value level, it's impossible to do that. Right? So now I'm taking care of the unique. So I took care of the second of the 2 carriage return. Now I'm taking care of the unique carriage return. So now I have this 2, this 2, this 1, this 2, this 2, this 1, this. Okay, I have paragraph 2, paragraph 2, paragraph 1, paragraph 1, paragraph 2. Okay, so now I have this. So now that I have this, right, I can remake. Okay, I want to be able to separate those double carriage return to make them unique carriage return, and then I can then use the get value. Let me explain. Now that I have the paragraph 3, the paragraph 3 now is clean. The paragraph 3 is clean. That means this will be the first bullet point. This will be the second bullet point. This will be the third bullet point. This will be the fourth bullet point. But you can see I didn't lose the unique carriage return. I will take care of that later. But now that I have this, the current paragraph 3, now I am back on using the value, because remember when at the beginning, look, show you. When you have the current text, remember? Because that's the beauty of the variable. When you want to debug this, everything is on the table. Everything is available to you. The thing you had before still available to you. I didn't replace anything. I'm taking something and then I'm extracting something out of it, and then I'm doing something else out of it, and then I'm doing something else out of it. I don't lose anything. So if I want to debug, it's super cool because you have everything. So the script is still running here, right, on my debugging stuff. And I want to see how it was originally. It was this, but this is not usable on the values with. I cannot use that because if I do get value 1, I get this, but this is not the value 1. This is not what I want. I want the whole thing to be considered as a value. So I need to remove the extra carriage return I don't need, but I don't want to lose the carriage return. And I cannot use a character like put a comma or semicolon, or put or what's the name? Put a space. You cannot use those because they are they could be part of a text. For example, I have a comma here. So if you put comma as a separator, it won't work. No, you need to transform the carriage return, keep them on the side, and make them like this character that I'm using, the paragraph 1. And then what I've done here, right? So what I've done here is this. I did a substitute, right, of this, of the get value. I can even do this, it's a substitute. So let's continue. So you saw what I'm doing, right? So now that I have the paragraph 3, it's clean. Value 1, value 2, value 3, value 4, right? It's clean. Okay. So this is what you do. You have the two carriage return was the paragraph separator. Then you remove the single carriage return characters, you replace it, then you get to 1 carriage return to separate the blocks of text, and then okay. So I think you got what I want to do here, right? And now that I have this, the current paragraph, look what I can do. I can do whatever I want now. I am free to use all my arsenal. I can use all of those. All of those are available to me. So, for example, I have my list here. Let's put current paragraph. This. So now with this, I can say get value of this value number 1, 2, 3, 4. See? So now I can do whatever I want here. Right? I can do whatever I want. And I can, if I want, I can do this. I can do substitute of my value 1, and I want to get back this into a carriage return. And boom, I have my bullet point. So now that I have this construction, so you saw the power of the values. So that's what I want to demonstrate. Here, well, I want to demonstrate we have the left values, we have the middle value, right? And with all of this, now we can create variable with values inside. We can use substitute, remove this, dissecting the text, and juggle. You remember when I was doing that with juggle? That's what I'm doing here. I'm juggling. I have 3 balls in the air now. The paragraph 1, 2, and 3. My 3 balls. I'm juggling like this, right? And then I have my beautiful and beloved loop. Okay, I'm going to do a week in loop. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Because we are going to have this webinar, a long, very long webinar. Because look, loop is people hate loops because they don't know how to use it, and loop needs to be something simple, and that's why I'm here to explain. Look my loop. There's nothing here, absolutely nothing. Set variable, new, and exit. That's simple. So now that I have this, remember the values I told you, the arsenal, my arsenal, I tell you this. Okay. Now I can do this. Oh, by the way, how many values do I have? Yeah, four values. Okay, cool. See all the stuff we have with the values? I hope you got the point. Okay, so I can set a variable, say, okay, oh, by the way, you have four values. So that means your loop here need to be 4 times. Okay? When the counter will say equal 4, get out. Stop. Okay? So now I'm saying this. Okay, setting a variable, say, okay, by the way, each loop you are going to count. Okay? The first time you enter the loop, the counter will be zero. It won't exist. So it will say, okay, the variable is whatever in the counter plus 1. So nothing plus 1 equal 1. That's the first. Okay. So we go to the loop, set variable. So now I have a counter here with 1. I'm using the look how I'm using this. And now nothing is happening. Absolutely nothing. No. Many things happening. But not in the script. So now I have my counter here. What the hell is going on? Where the magic that doing new request or new record, you're going to get your bullet point built. Because if you stop this, you go now in the field itself, and I have an auto entry calculation. Okay. And here where I have the magic going on. So my counter was 1, and I have 4 values in my current paragraph 3. And I tell, okay, new record, get the value of those 4 values, get the value number 1. That's the first. The second record will come. Counter will be 2. And you say, get the value of those 4, the second one. And the third record again, this will be 3. I get the value number 3. And the 4's coming. And then it stopped because it said, okay, you have a count of 4 and you are reached the 4, so now you stop. And to get the number the bullet 1, 2, 3, 4, doing the first thing, the counter is doing that for me. The counter is said, oh, I'm the number 1, I'm the number 2, I'm the number 3, number 4, right? So you don't need. So the point is that you do not need a freaking set fields to do all of this. You don't need. Set field is a huge, heavy thing. You need to you have a validation. It's a huge event. Set field. Anytime you can get rid of a set field in your scripts, it's a huge improvement, especially when you have a loop. Because here, okay, I have a loop for bullet points. That means we are not going to create billions of bullet points. But you can use that technique for something else, right? And let's say you want to create, I don't know, a year. You want to create every day of the year. You want to create a calendar. You need to create 365 days. For example, I'm giving you an example. And you have a loop, new, like the 365. And each time you have a set field. Here, I should have done this. If I was a rookie, set field, and you need to build it. The time to build it. Or say set field text and say get value, blah, blah, blah. You need to do all of this, and you need to do another field, set this. Why? Why?
Speaking of which, kind of like we've got a question related to
Yeah,
this.
go.
Why didn't you set the first two variables in steps 3 and 4 directly from the fields? Why are you passing them in a script parameter on the button, only to parse them again?
I don't understand because the script parameter, I have no idea of on the script parameter. The script parameter knows nothing of this. So you know what I mean? Because here I need to do all of this. So you want to do all of this in the script parameter, send this in the script parameter. Yeah, you could do all of this in the script parameter. But the problem is this. After that, you have kind of logic here. So it's a good question because I can explain what to put in the script parameter and what not to put in the script parameter.
Lynn said specifically step 3 and 4. So not this step, previous steps.
It's 3 and 4, this one.
Yes.
You mean line 3 and line 4. Why is not in the script parameter? But they are in the script parameter.
Yeah, but he wants to know why you are passing them in a script parameter, only to parse them again.
Why I'm passing this in the script parameter?
Yeah.
It's just because it's an habit I have, and to be honest with you, it's kind of for it's I could have done this. Yeah, I could have set variable. Yeah, I could, but I like script parameters because imagine, just put yourself that I want to copy this in another, in another layout or another field or another file, for example. Just I need to copy the button, modify the button, and pretty much all the script is here. We work. Okay, so I don't need to. It's an habit that I have. Everything that comes out of a record, I'm putting that in the script parameter. I'm not getting this here. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. Current ID, this, and current here, this. No, I'm not doing this. Right. I understand it's simpler, okay, but it doesn't mean better. But it's a matter of. And to be honest with you, I wanted to demonstrate something here. I want to demonstrate the left value and the middle value. So because that's something you do often, and sometimes you have obligation to do that in the script parameter. Why? Is because sometimes you need to go and in another context or something like this. Sometimes you go to another context, and it's better to have a variable. Then you're free. You're context free. Here I am context free now. As at that point, I can say go to layouts. Go to layout another, and I can go wherever. Go to another context, right? And those are safe. They're safe. So it's an habit. But you could. So this is what I want. But I'm not done yet. Okay, I'm not done yet. When I have done this, remember, I still have to restitute my unique, my paragraph 1, right? My paragraph 1. So I do a replace on the record, and I do this. I replace whatever in the text, whatever the paragraph 2 here, whatever this with one, and then I restitute my unique character return. But also what I want to show you here, that I have all of those. When I say new record, I get the current ID, I get whichever values I need, and whichever number of the counter. So I don't need new set field, free set fields. So I'm saving myself of set field, one, set field, two, set field. Okay, I'm saving myself those three. And I don't have to build them. Okay? Because to be honest with you, I hate set field because you need to do this and this and this. You need to do this and this, and this, etc., right? It's not okay. So I prefer to have an auto entry calculation button, right? So do you have any question?
At the moment, no. Besides Lynn's,
Okay.
which we already answered, we should be good.
Okay, cool. Okay, so that's why now with this we get this, boom. Okay, so something that I want to tell you is about this button, your clear all. Because remember, I told you, I said I'm going to come back on this. Let's say I'm putting just a pause of a tenth of a second, a pause, a tiny little pause here. Tiny little pause. Look what happened. Bum, 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 bum. So see, you see the what's the name? Because you said, oh, pause, that means, okay, I'm displaying the window. If I don't put the pause here, right, and if the action, the length of the scripts is inferior to, I think it's 70, I think it's like less than 3 seconds, something like this, It won't show what's the name? It won't show the window, the cursor window. See, bum, 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 and I just put a tenth of a second. I could have put like a 0.1, like a hundredth of a second. As I put a pause, it's short. It could be a hundredth of a second. Doesn't matter. So if you want it, you can force it. If you don't want it, don't put it. It will show the window only if it lasts like a 1, 2, up, it shows, right? But here, it's not showing. Clear, 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 not showing. Even though you have a lot like this one, you have a big thing here. Create, boom, create, clear, create, boom, clear. Okay, so okay, so now what time is it? 48. I want to show you something else, and that will show you so now you understand. That's why I call that value to records, because you know how to create from values to records. Now you know how to do this. Before we were doing like from records to values. So pretty much here we did both, from record to values and then from values to records. Okay, so now I want to show you something very cool. Something that if you don't deal with value, good luck, and I wish you luck. I wish you luck, and because good luck. Is this? What is this? Okay, I have from today, and I want till the end of the month. I want all the days from today until the last of the month. Okay, I want a list. I want all the days. Okay, but I want to ignore weekends. Right? So I want to ignore Saturday and Sunday. Or I want to ignore the day I want. For example, okay, I want to ignore all the Tuesday and all the Thursday. Or, or I want only the Mondays. That's it, right? So if you want to do something like that without using the values, it's impossible. I mean, it's possible, but you have I don't know, like 100-line script or something like this, to do something like this. So how it works? Remember, I told you we have an arsenal, and we call it while. Okay, this is the nuclear weapon. Okay, so how while is working? We have a little bit of time here to, So I want the no weekend stuff. This is my while. So the while the J start state and the J. Okay. Okay. How the while is working. So it's not a curse on while, but because I did it, we have a video. I'm not doing a course on while. We have a video actually out of this. I don't know, Marge, if you can find out where this video is. But you go YouTube, you see Nick Hunter while, and you have it. So, but you understand that now we deal with values. Okay. So we create this list, right? We create this list. So, and the while is something that is recursing, right? So you have a recursion. Why they call that while? Is because while this statement is true, keep going, doing this. You understand? Here, you put whatever you need to. You put all on the table. I need the dates, the max date, right? And in the future, I will need the results, right? So you need to put all what you need there. So now you said date strictly inferior to the max date, right? And that is the condition. And while the condition is true, do this. Date equal the date plus 1. You add a day, add a day, add a day, add a day. Okay. And the result is whatever in the result already, and here you have the magic. If the day of week of dates inferior to 1, right? And the day of week of date different of 1 and different of 7. Don't be afraid to use this difference. Don't be afraid to do this. Different sometimes is better to say if the day of week equal 2, equal 3, equal 4, Instead you say if it's not 1 and if it's not 7, right? In that case, if this is true, then do this, the date and the space and the day name of the space, and you add a carriage return. If you don't, put nothing. And that's the results. So now you understand. So if I change, let's say I don't want, because that's why I'm saying FileMaker, Saturday is day 1 and Sunday is day 7. Okay? Sorry. Sunday is day 1 and Saturday is day 7. FileMaker starts the week on Sunday, right? So let's say let's say now I have another calc. Right? I want to see this calc here. And this calc looks much more complicated, but it's not. I want this one, right? The day of week, right? So let's copy this and put in my data viewer. So let's put this start date, end date, and the day of week. See here, is the same calc, date plus 1, okay, and here what you need to do, because you have a list, you have a day name, this here, the repeat, the day of week here. So you need to use a pattern count because it's a list. You can say equal because it's not equal. It's a list of values. I'm going to explain that. So if pattern count, and I'm going to explain because pattern count, oh, by the way, in my arsenal, I forgot about the pattern count stuff. Pattern count. So we need this. We have the pattern count. Pattern count. Okay, so here I'm saying pattern count, day name, updates, you know, and the get value of the repeating of this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, you know, Saturday, Sunday. So I have or in that case, you know, if I have this, all this, all this, all this, right? So that means it will work, right? It will say if, let's say in my list of day of week, I don't have 2. This won't work. It will skip it. It will skip this one because it say, hey, you told me or, and it's not there. It's not there. This one, the 2. So I'm going to remove all the 2. I'm going to skip it. When the day plus 1 equal the day name that you said you don't want, right? I'm not going to do it. You say you don't. It's not part of your if stuff, okay? So that's why this file, I'm going to give you this file, by the way, you know. So this is a demonstration of, and now let's say, okay, we have a list like this, okay, and you want to create bullet point out of this. Thanks to the fact that I have, what's the name? Thanks to the fact that I have values, right? I can now create my records if I want. Ready? Boom. Bullet points. So you imagine that you can use the while and you can create your list of days like boom. So if you don't, the point is of all of this, you know, and since the beginning of those, is to my original test was that the value list of values was the 5th element. You know, you remember that was my original text. The 5th element, a reference of the movie, the 5th element.
Yes.
Like, you know, the supreme being. Okay, the being perfect. You know, the multipass. You know, okay.
Yes.
So it's the multipass stuff. You know, it's the multipass stuff. It's the you know. What's the name? It's the values is where you can do all of those things. You cannot do this on the record level. You know, when you are in the record is static, is monolithic, and you have only those buttons here: search, find. That's all what you need to do. You can do sort, search, delete, create. That's all what you can do with records, right? You have no power on records. Okay, the only power you have on records is there, and we have is there. This is where you have powers on records, right? On that relationship. But this is not a story. Okay, I'm talking about data. I'm talking about juggling with numbers and dates and, you know, like day Saturday, Sunday, right? Okay, so now you understand. For example, if you couple this file here, and out of this, let's say you want to create a week of work for staff, for example, and you want, you know, from the 10th of March to the end of the month, and so you have the list. You create the list. Now you say, yeah, but I don't want Saturday and Sunday, right? You have your list, and now you can just use that technique of creating records out of values, right? And you have your records. Instead of trying to do this with new records, if set field, if the day of name, the day of this week, of this day equal, it's a nightmare. I'm sorry, but it's a nightmare. Here with the while, it's clean and overall, because what we want to do here is this. Let's say from here to, I want to go like, I don't know, this, right? You see the speed? You know, I have 2 years. It's instant. And I don't want Saturday, Sunday. I want Sunday, Sunday. 2 years. Okay, let's go. Let's continue. Can I? Yeah. Okay, can I go? No, let's continue. Oh, let's go this. Let's say I want 45. So I have all of those. Okay. And I want Saturday and Sunday. Click, click. Instant. If you do this with perform find and create records and new records, and it won't work. Now that I have this, right? Now that I have this, right? And let's play something. I copy this and I go there. I paste this here. Here this. Paste this. Now I'm going to use something. I'm going to play a little bit, you know, because we're here to play. So I have this record. I have a unique record. See, I have a unique record here. And I use the replace. And I said, substitute, you know, whatever in the text. I want to replace one carriage return by 2 carriage return. And now I have 20 years create records. Now I have the screen, bam, is created. And how many records do I have here? So now, you know, I'm going to play a little bit, unless we have count, remember, count, whatever the count on this, on the records. I have 6,146 records that are created in what? Less than a second, maybe, or a second and a half, right? So I let you, for you guys that knows a little bit FileMaker, I created like 6,000 records, and I said, oh, by the way, I don't want Saturday and Sunday, right? Out of 6,000 records, right? And by the way, I want the list with the date and the date and the day name, right? How I create the list, you know, how you create this list here, this one. I don't remember the while no weekend, right? The while no weekend, you know, because this is where you have, you know, the while. It's an auto-entry calculation, right? So you say from that date to that date, boom, and you have an auto-entry calculation. But it's fast because I didn't try to create the records. When I have the list cleaned up with all what I want to show, then I can say, okay, dump it, create me the record. And you have something super, super simple, like new record, that's it, right? So this is I want to demonstrate, make this demonstration to show you that, look, if you want something fast, this is where you need to do. And thanks, and I demonstrate all my arsenal here, right? So if I have 2 seconds for the pattern count stuff, right? So the pattern count is this, you know. So because I cannot say this MON, like Monday, equal this. It will say no, it will say false. It's false because Monday doesn't equal this. I can, if I do this, now it said 1. Because yes, it exists. Because here, let's show this, but differently. without the checkbox. Just show this. Okay, so now this is one value and is mon. So I can say mon equal while it's a yes. But if I put mon HU, no, it doesn't equal. So then is where God invented pattern count. Demonstration. Pattern count on my text, and I search for mon. Yes, it's true. If I have two, yes, I have two. Do I have wed? Not weed. We're not in California. Do I have wed? I have wed. No, I don't. But I have, if I click now, oh yeah, one is there. You understand how pattern count works now? You cannot say equal when you are, so now you understand my calculation here. You understand why I was using in the day of weeks, why I was using pattern count, month, two, whatever the day name of the date in the repeating, the day, in this here, right? If you say equal, it doesn't work. But pattern count, is there month, MON in the list? Yes, there is, But pattern count can be, can cut your throat sometimes, because if I put this, right, if I do this, and I said, and I remove this, and I said, is this mon? It will say yes, because you are Monday. Okay, so that's why sometimes is we cannot use, when you use pattern count, we cannot use this 1, 11, 21, 13, 110. If I use this and I use pattern count and I say, by the way, no, I don't let me remove one. I don't want one. Do I have 11? Do I have one? Yes, you have 6 times 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do I have 11? Yes, you have 2 times 11. Because this is counted as 11. That's why we cannot rely on pattern count. It's not cool. That's why God, invented our good friend gets unique ID. Why? Because I can now say, by the way, do I have this ID in my, yes, but it's a unique ID. So you can do this. You can rely on this. Pattern count works well with unique IDs. Doesn't work well with numbers. Doesn't work well with names, because active and inactive, for example. Unfortunately, if you say, do you have this? If this is active, pattern count active, yes, but it's active and inactive, so you will say pattern count, yes. You understand the problem of the pattern count? So that being said, I'm closing the shop. We can land the plane if you want. If you have questions.
No, I think we're good. There aren't really any questions. David Angel's typing.
Pattern count. So found this on the internet for exact match. Yes, you can do this.
Otherwise, I think we're good.
Yeah.
YouTube is
But
quiet.
look, I want look. This is, yes, it's true. You can use that trick, right? But come on, is that simple, right? Each time you need to, okay, you can use this. I prefer in this will be part of the optimization course that we have scheduled by I call that the supra optimization. We are going to talk about this. We are going to talk about how to make sure that I'm not, what's the name? How to make sure of all of this, right? The good practice to avoid those kind of things, because this is, the calorie return. It's a good practice. I was doing it before, but now I'm away from static, from constants. I'm away from constants. I'm away from. To me, a status, for example, status. It's a table status, and I have a field status name, and I put in that field I have a UUID, and in that field I have the name of the status, and for me a record, like for example, I don't know, a project or an invoice. For me, an invoice is not an unpaid invoice. To me, it's an invoice with the ID, with the status ID, blah 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 blah, unique ID. That's it. It's not. I don't care if what it says, unpaid, paid. What, I don't give a damn. And you can have one table with all your statuses, and you can say, okay, this for deals, this for invoices, this is for account, this is for contact, this is for right. And you can have and you have your list of and you can make this available, and the good advantage. But I'm not going to talk too much about that. But the good advantage is, let's say I want to change a status overdue in past due. I want to change the name. I want to change the name of the status. Okay, you cannot do that if you rely on the words past due. If you change on overdue, you screwed. You are screwing up everything, and all your calculations are that all the calcs that point into this are completely broken. So, good practices, and you avoid those carriage return stuff. We good?
Yep, I think we're good.
Where's the bus? In the helicopter?
Yes, we could land the helicopter. Thank you very much, Nick. Seriously, this was awesome. I shared the sample files. People who want to download the sample file.
Let me give you the
updated one, yes, and I'll fix that.
Yeah, because I found the bug.
It'll be the same link, but it'll just be updated.
Okay, cool. So this. Okay, so next week.
Yep, next week we'll be having you, I think, for supra optimization. Hold on, what are you next week? Next week. Show future.
So what's about this week? Is the optimization, right?
It is. You are correct.
Yes. Okay.
So cool. Yep. Cool.
Okay,
Thank you, Mick.
Thank you. Have a great weekend.
Same to
Got a report of an individual up here who may be a FileMaker license. Well, it's potentially expired. Look at the back of that car right there. Looks like the FileMaker license has expired. Sir, I need you to step out of the vehicle. Sir, step out of the vehicle. Sir.